Recording. Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ruben. Hi, Ruben. Welcome back. Can we just wait in frame? Because the white balance in this camcorder is like doing the mostest. So, okay, that's what I have to do. Anyway, welcome back. So, I said on my last video that I'd be like doing a second channel and all this nonsense. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what I was sitting on like sound like that. But the thing is, though, you know, things like this always put me through a loop because for whatever reason, like there is not one person on planet Earth that would say that I'm anything other than what I am upon here in person. But maybe that may be the reason why people seem to prefer me upon here than like they realize I don't know. I'm not them, and I've learned over the years that it's not my responsibility to try and understand things that are not for me or that I was never meant to understand in the first place. You know what I mean? So there's that. By the way, we're sipping on black tea right here, which I'm kind of bored of black tea now. In fact, all teas I'm bored of. I don't like them. Like I don't do caffeine really. Like you should see me out on a Red Bull. It's just like it's too much. But teas, like with teas, apparently there's like a group of plants specifically, or one plant actually, where tea originates from, like green tea, black tea, white tea, everything else. All those teas I don't like. If anything, green tea can be into matcha, which I absolutely adore. But I've actually got a list here because now I'm like going through life, I'm getting a pantry and whatever else of teas. Well, any plant-based material that can be like steeped and boiled and like the water can really stuffed up is a tea. But things that I like are right here. Now I crossed out. Okay, let's just get with the things that I don't like. Chamomile. Now, whenever I had chamomile in the past, it just reminded me of being an old lady. Like no shade, but if you want to, but we're in a world where like you can literally blink the wrong way and someone will be offended. So hey how. But like chamomile makes you feel like I'm just like an old woman. Reminiscing times of the war or something. Like it's just like it's not new, it's not hip, it's not fresh. It's like she gives me nothing. She gives me nothing. In fact, I feel like my life force is being drained by consuming chamomile, so that's gone. Rubus. Now I crossed that out, as you can see, but I just put it back here just before I click record. Why did I cut it out again? Because like I remember I really liked Redbush. Yeah, like I remember that I liked it, so I don't know why I crossed it out like that. Orange tea and cinnamon tea. Now, those two are kind of like arbitrary to me. Like, I feel like that's just what tea companies put in their tea bags to like make it sound like more exciting. Oh, it's like chamomile. It's lower than chamomile. It's like, okay, if you say so. But the teas that I actually did like, peppermint. Peppermint is a classic for me. Peppermint must have been the very first tea that I ever consumed. Literally, it's a classic. It's different to mint. It's different to spearmint. Peppermint just tastes so warm and delicious to me all the time. Put rosebuds on here because like roses can actually be steeped in the tea as well, which I didn't know. And so can lavender, hibiscus. Now valerian and clove. I think I've had clove once. Hibiscus is always good. I've heard. Lavender is always good. Valerian. I have no idea what valerian is, so I'm eager to try that. But yeah, this is like sort of my mainstay teas that I shall be consuming. So that's exciting. I guess it is exciting. It is. And in terms of our pantry and stuff, like I sort of want to get drinks first, then I want to get to like sweet snacks, then savory snacks. And then I shall go down into, because I usually go out to eat anyway. I'm always eating, always just from my mouth. My boy metabolism is turning to a man metabolism, and is I don't know why, because it feels like and looks like I'm getting thinner and slimmer, but because I'm growing taller. But like, yeah, I eat a ton. I eat a ton. I eat very clean and healthy though. Though I do prefer fast food over restaurant food, sort of thing. But for whatever reason, I just don't tend to. I mean, I just don't tend to gain weight. Then I don't know why. Even before like I started like getting my home gym together and started exercising and stuff, it's just I have no idea why, but hell. Yeah. So since I go out to eat more than I stay in and cook and whatever, like I mean I probably could follow recipes if I could be bothered to, but like I just don't have the lifestyle which allows me to commit to the routine of staying inside and cooking for for a sustained amount of time. You know what I mean? I mean, Sunday roast dinner, eat your heart out. But like the idea of coming home and following a recipe for an hour and then eating and washing it up, that's just not. That's not the life I live. It isn't. It just isn't. To be honest with you. So yeah, but while I am in, and plus like with Just Eat, Uber Eats, is Hungry Cow still a thing? I'm not too sure. Deliveroo definitely. Like, I just don't have the like. Why? Why would I choose to follow a meal and like risk food poisoning just for the sake of? No, it makes zero sense to me. Anyway, to me. Anyway, to me. Right. So YouTube stuff. Now, for those that know, I'm an actor. Yeah, I'm an actor, model, and I do like other creative projects too. But sometimes I just like look back on my life thus far, and the I am, more that I wonder what my life would have been like had I have been part of certain cliques, certain groups, had done a certain type of way. The more that I'm grateful that I didn't, because I see what people's lives are like now. And of course, no, I'm the whole and everything else too. I'm not them. Blah 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 blah. But I'm just so grateful that I have not been whipped into a world that I felt entrapped in, that I couldn't escape from. A lot of people, like there are some people out there, and you can name names if you want to, who wouldn't have not even an income, not even a job, a career, an identity outside of what we're doing right here, right now. You know what I mean? But I'm so grateful that I wake up every single day, knowing that I'm not my job, I'm not my career, I'm not my social media, I'm not my, I'm me, I'm me, and that's the best feeling that ever existed. You know what I mean? Throughout everything that I've been through, and there's like, oh lordy, if you follow my podcast, and watch the Bombastic Newscast, or in the voice notes, then you might know a bit of what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, I was in the clinic the other day, and like, you only get to talk to people for like, you get to actually have a conversation that's like lasting no longer than 2 minutes. But but the nurse like to me, oh wow, you should write a book, and I'm like, but like, really, after 2 minutes of like what my situation was at that very minute, at that very moment was like, I mean. I don't know. It's like it's very interesting when you meet the people who are like complete strangers and like you just get reminded of the person who you are. That's what I love, and I think it's the weirdest thing when like we're friends, people who are supposed to be friends and family, people who are supposed to be sort of like we're in this together sort of thing, who seem to want to take from who you are. You know, that to me is forever weird. Maybe they're not true friends, whatever. I've yet to define what friendship is. I've yet to define what family is. I've yet to define what a relationship should actually look like. A romantic relationship I'm talking about. Even things like teacher student and like manager employee, like that's like we're all people. Like, you know what I mean? Hell, not that I like disregard authority altogether, but like I don't know. I haven't been trained into the lane of, oh, this person wears a suit, this person wears a uniform, this person wears this, da 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 da. Therefore, I have to blindly follow whatever they say. No, I pay more attention to like what's in here and what your independent moral values are, and to whether they align with mine enough for me to make a decision about where I should go at that particular moment. That's how I see it anyway, sort of thing. I understand that, like, as an actor, listen to the director, as the patient listens to the doctor. That I understand on like the Neanderthal level, but in terms of like actually being in this earth, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just like how I see it anyway. Yeah. But in terms of like my life is so. Sometimes I do think, what would my life be like? Bandit freedom times. What would my life be like if I was nichified, sort of thing? Because when you're doing things like this, and as an actor, as a great person, like I know that it's the easy route. It's the easy route to be able to rinse yourself out and to blind and to emptily be part of certain niches, certain boxes, things like that too. That's just not who I was born to be. To be honest with you, of course, hello. There's nothing outside of the fact that I was born cisgender and like I have like brown skin. That's obvious. Or maybe in today's climate isn't. Who knows? And I'm very very British when it comes down to it. But outside of that, I'm so much more. You know, like why do I only have to commit myself to sci-fi or to pop music or to the English language or to Pokemon or to anime or to going out to restaurants, or to matcha, or university, or acting and modeling. Like, why? Why? That's not what life is all about. There are so many things you can do in life. Sometimes it's very, very overwhelming. But at the same time, of the million plus things you can do, you only choose one? Does that make sense to you? Okay, you go into a candy store, right? Okay, you can have all of the candy that you want. Oh, I only want this one thing. So do you want like 10 of that one thing? No, just one. Like, who does that make sense to? Who does that make sense to? So that's why I thought about getting a second channel, sort of like, goddamn, sort of like a channel for the branding and everything else too. Which sounds like so much of work. And like a channel just for me where I can be kooky, quick and goofy and blah blah blah. But like I'm working goofy anyway, regardless. And honestly speaking, it's true. It sounds like someone else's job entirely to market what I do acting wise. But in terms of like my actual day-to-day life, day living, and my spare time, to be honest with you, because I'm like professional actor, paid employed, blah 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 blah. Like I hate like I want to be the person who's like, oh, just Google me, like, oh, I don't want to be that person. But at this point in time, it's so much and there's so much coming that it'll be a joke for me to downplay myself like that. To be honest with you, that's just how I see it anyway. Not to say that I'm doing the most of this, but compared to people who I know of, like, mm, I mean, hell, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other video, perhaps. Um, Yeah, and I am blessed in the fact that I am into sci-fi, so I'm more aligned to do sci-fi movies. I am into pop music, so if I ever do music, I'm more aligned to do things of that genre. I am into anime, so if I only do voice acting, then I am more likely to do things to do with anime, sort of thing. I'm very blessed in that respect. But say if you make a product, you make a product right, and then it's the marketing department of somewhere else that takes that product and then like push it out to the consumer. Like it doesn't feel like it's necessarily up to me to shrink myself for the sake of something which probably doesn't exist. And not only that, but to shrink myself down and to miss out on the opportunities that I would have had I just been the fullest version of myself to begin with. Honestly. And I do so much outside of here, this platform at least, that to really put all my eggs in one basket, so to speak, would be kind of ridiculous. I know that some people like who have an increased amount of spare time for whatever reason, are now doing second channels, third channels. Some person there has like 5 YouTube channels. I'm like, but for what? What for what for what? At some point in time, you've got to be like, you know what? I don't like baby doll. I like, and don't you find that the people who like sort of commit themselves the most to social media things tend to have like the least going on behind the scenes sort of thing. Not just behind the scenes like in a admin kind of way, but I mean like look at their eyes, you know. I literally like look at like the deepest parts of their eyes. Like, have they got anything outside of what they see on camera? Do they? Or do they? I mean, you tell me. You tell me. Do you know what I mean? And linking it back, like I'm so glad that I have not whipped myself into a world where I am a YouTuber focusing on like my craft and focusing on things which I find to be the most important. But the weird thing is that the world is such a way now where people, if they don't see you up on here or some other platform, they assume that you're doing nothing, which I think is so. Which I mean, people who are outside of my life, I'm not like talking about them right now, but like people who like who would say, yeah, we're friends, we're buddies, we're doing this thing called life together, and then they're like, but like I'm like it's like I'm here, like nothing that I do up in cyberspace would take away from the fact that I'm still like eating and breathing, sort of thing. You know, especially if you have my number like that, it's just like it's all very strange. But then again, I don't have to worry about how other people think. Well, this tastes so bitter, by the way. By the way, girl, I would sit down like twice, like literally, because it just tastes so bitter. So bitter. It's like that's all I taste from it. Nothing like nothing herbal. Nothing. It just tastes like burnt water to me. It's like coffee. It tastes like whatever. But you know, habit forming. Was it? So yeah, and plus, like, I just feel like the kind of person who I am. I'd rather commit myself wholeheartedly to one video a week. Like that's all. That's all to change. Like whatever, whatever. But like, it's not that my focus is elsewhere because, of course, you know, I'm here with you in this room right here and now. But like, I just have other things going on, you know. And it's mostly to people who see themselves as like YouTubers and Instagram models and Twitter personalities and everything else that exists out there. But like, I'm not that person today. I don't know. Maybe I could have been that person in years gone by, but then I know for a fact that I wouldn't be the actor that I am today right now. Like, you know, yeah, like maybe you only have, maybe after castings and talking to directors and everything else too, maybe you do only have time for logistically one video, one film, one movie a year every other years. But what about other networking? What about having a social life? What about romantic relationships? What about raising a family? What about, you know, home decor? What about getting an education? What about traveling? You know? And I'm grateful that I didn't have a lifelong mentality where it's like if it doesn't happen on camera, then it doesn't exist. No, I know that I exist, and people are almost hurt, they're almost offended that I walk into rooms, that I walk into situations, being the whole person who I am, because like I don't have to document every single second of my life to prove that it happened to anyone. Like I'm I'm still here. I'll not be here today had I not lived through 25 years plus of yesterdays. So, so it's like it's all just very, very strange. Very, very strange. It's like people who I meet, like they. I mean, I don't know for whatever reason because I don't. Because then again, had I like really upped and jumped when I could have done, um, would I be in those situations right now? Most like I have the stories to tell. Most likely not. But at the same time, it's kind of strange how people seem to need to justify how they treat other people based on the follow account and based on the pixels on the screen that they display. That will probably forever be weird for me. But like, I'm not talking about in terms of like having like work related opportunities. That's a given. But I'm talking in terms of just like be respected on a date or like in a job interview or like on the street day to day sort of thing. That will always be weird for me. But yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I wanted to say today. I believe. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and in closing, I think I said this before anyway, but most things that I do, like, I can't bring. Most of the things that I do day to day, my day to day life is so unique to me, and it's so, like, maybe that's what people want to see as well. But even still, like, things that excuse me, like, most of the things that I do, I can't really bring, like, I can't go and be like, hey, hey, hey. Like, there's only so many times you can be like, hey, going to acting class, hey, on way to a casting, hey, hey, right now I'm like, editing my resume, like, before like I get bored of it. So it's like, I mean, hello, if your boy is like making moves, then like that's a given, right? But like now I just want extra. Now that the baseline is sort of set and I see the light at the end of the tunnel in what I'm doing, like now I'm adding the icing on the cake. Now I'm adding like the sprinkles and the fruits and the cream and the marzipan and the and the chocolate shavings and the orange zest and everything else to that too. You know, like there are so many things going on in my life in my day to day, and to think that people who are supposed to be my friends or anyone in general wants to reduce me to this thing or that thing. It's like I'm just not made for that. I'm not made for a reductive kind of life. I'm just I'm just not. I'm just not. I'm just not. I'm just not. You know. And also, a common thought exists. Like branding or not, like I'm present in all the things that I do, sort of thing. My energy is still there, and to me, that's branding enough. So yeah, and plus, like, gosh, it's nice to like goof out sometimes. It's like do nothing, you know, and just be like, you know what? Hey, this is me in this moment, and that's enough, and that's okay. That's okay, and anything else can be seen as extra, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like we have talked for enough now. So yeah. Then again, with all that being said, my gosh, I have so many things up on this laptop on my old phone too, which is my gosh, that phone is so on its way out. Like I am so. Oh my gosh. Hey yo, if you ever had a Let Echo Max 2 shout out, that phone has been through everything. Legit. But it is officially on its way out. Officially. And may she rest. My gosh. You know how like phones glitch after like 6 months of like you having it? No. I had that phone for so long, I can't remember when I bought it. I remember when I bought the replacement of it, which I broke, which like thank God, which like, and that one resurrected itself, which is like, okay, cool. Happy in a pinch. I must have had that phone for at least 5 years. That's insane to me. But with like the rate that phones like are coming out, you know, it's like it's ridiculous how I had the phone for so long. Oh my gosh. You know, yeah. Like I don't need to do like a clothing haul to prove that like I buy clothes. Like I don't need to do a mukbang to prove like I eat. Like yeah, like my growth is so independent from all of those things. It's sort of like I mean. I don't know. I don't know. Not to say that, like, like, I said all of that to say that, like, I'm queen of live your own life, always and forever, and I'm just purely saying things from my perspective and how I see the world. If that offends you, then leave a comment down below. It'll make you feel better. Do it, like, live your own life, do what you want. I believe in freedom, personally. I mean, I don't know where you're living, but I mean, me and my day today, I believe in freedom, so, like, I want all human beings to be free. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I just think cope well in areas of life where these arbitrary ass rules just manifest out of nothing, and which fizzle out into nothing. I don't cope well in like these like arbitrary ass BS situations. I just don't. Maybe that's why I just never managed to hold down 9 to 5 for like any amount of times. I'm like, girl, hey yo, this doesn't make sense. Yo, this doesn't make sense. Why am I? God damn. Anyway, that's for me. Oh, 25 minutes. Okay, that's it for me. And yes, until next. Then again, well, I've got quite a number of things, but then I kind of want to get my new vlog set up done as well. But then in the meantime, I may as well sort of thing too. So if you see like a a big chunk of uploads like somewhere, then that's what it is. But you know, I'm upgrading. I'm leveling up in all areas of my life, and it feels fantastic to be honest with you. It feels so fucking great, so great, so great, so fucking great. Anyway, that's from me. Bye. Bye. Subscribe and leave a like.